Back on the winners list yet again. A 67-point win over the bye Saturday night at Marvel Stadium, round 14 action. Collingwood 2013, 133 to the bye, 66 behinds, just failing to convert. Uh, I'm just taking a piss. I did watch last night Port Adelaide against Sydney, and to be honest, it's the first full game I've watched of Port Adelaide probably since round one last year. But fair play to Port Adelaide. They took it to Sydney, just like us. They had the lead for most of the game, just like us, and they lost by under a goal, just like us in the end. We lost up there, they lost at home, and for Port Adelaide, that's now 5 losses by 3 points or less in 2026. They did win by 6 points over West Coast a couple of weeks ago over there, Optus Stadium, because West Coast failing to convert and take their set shots, which was also the case against North Melbourne yesterday, as I watched the end of that game. So up against Port Adelaide on Saturday for round 15 action. Port Adelaide will be wearing their teal jumper. I'll do a preview of that game on Wednesday for Port Adelaide facing them. Uh, If it's a close game by three-quarter time, I think both sides will be cringing or fans will be just dreading it. We can't win close games, but I'll save any Port Adelaide talk for the preview of round 15 action. They'll be done on Wednesday. For today, Sunday morning, I'll upload this on a Sunday night. There's a World Cup game against Turkey, but I am recording this on a Sunday morning. I'll edit this during the day, and this will be uploaded Sunday night. Hopefully, it gets some traction. Hopefully, it hits the algorithm. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. Share it around. Give the video a like. Comment your thoughts on Collingwood season so far. Certain performances, team-wise, player-wise, coach-wise as well. Craig McRae's not without criticism so far in 2026, and for fair reason as well. 5 wins, 7 losses, and a draw. Just not good enough for Collingwood standards. Sitting in 12th spot, possibly 13th if St Kilda beat GWS today. We'll find out after this recording, or after when it's uploaded, sorry. And Carlton take on West Coast on a Saturday twilight at Marvel Stadium. So we could be sitting in 14th spot by the time we face Port Adelaide when we commence our season yet again, or recommence is what I'm trying to say. So a lot to work on in 2026. I'll touch on this later in this video. But yeah, getting the cheap plugs out of the way just for this mid-season review as well. There will be timestamps, but it's going to be a very detailed, long video. So for Monday and Tuesday, I will most likely be uploading clips, just short breakdowns, but short breakdowns, depending on how this video goes and this recording goes. I'll find the two best parts, and then I'll upload these on Monday and Tuesday. Just a brief, a snippet sort of thing, a brief snippet, quote unquote, again. And then hopefully you guys enjoy this full video. But I do understand if you don't watch the video in length or in full, so I'll upload clips during the week. And then Wednesday will be the round 15 preview to Port Adelaide's game. Thursday night will be team selections, final word video. Friday, I'm hoping to have a video up, something between Collingwood and Port Adelaide, but that's a watch this space. Saturday will be the VFL report. We do take on Frankston Friday night in Frankston. I'll talk about the VFL side a little bit later in this video. And then Sunday night, so next Sunday will be the round 15 review. So basically, you might be getting 8 days in a row of content. So one video a day. So getting myself back into the habit of it all. A few days off, the day job getting in the way. So it's been busy the last 2 weeks. So had a bit of a break from Bulldogs game through to the Melbourne game and another break between the Melbourne loss and the bye week. The bye week's fair enough. Last week, or between the Bulldogs and Melbourne, not so much of an excuse, but last few weeks have been a bit busy, so I'll make up for it in the latter part of this month and early July. But I have been posting on Instagram, so feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's starting to gain traction, my Instagram page. But cheap plugs, housekeeping, all that out of the way. Let's just get into this Collingwood 2026 mid-season review. So I'm going to start this mid-season review off with a bit of lightheartedness, a bit of fun, just looking back on my 2026 predictions that I made before the season started. 15 predictions. 12 of these predictions are in play right now. 3 of these predictions will be done after the season is over. And just for context as well, you can go back and watch my 2026 predictions video just for full context. But I've got a list of all my predictions so far, and I'll expand on this as well. So for my 15 predictions, my first prediction was Collingwood would make the wildcard round. And I did say on Swoop Luke's prediction video that we were going to be smack bang in wildcard round. It's got our name written all over it. It did have our name written all over it, but we sit outside the top 10 right now in 12th spot, 5 wins, 7 losses, and a draw. And the possibility, again, to go down to 13th or 14th spot, depending on other results. St Kilda against the Giants, Carlton against West Coast, and Port Adelaide, Saturday night, MCG. Not so easy after all. So no guaranteed wins after the bye. And we're going to find out if we are in contention, if we're going to be taken seriously. My second prediction was Collingwood's VFL side would have a better season compared to Collingwood's AFL side. And it's not the case right now. Collingwood's VFL side, 3 wins and 7 losses, 19th as of this recording, or 19th or 20th, I have to double check. It's the opposite of what I predicted for Collingwood's VFL side this year. It looks stupid, but I actually predicted Collingwood to finish top 6 and be in premiership contention in the VFL. Geelong, the VFL side, they are smack bang, head and shoulders on top of the VFL ladder. And then you've got a bottleneck, a vortex from second all the way down to about 12th, I think it is. We're 2 games outside the top 10. So the season's not over, but you realistically need 10 wins and 8 losses to be in that wildcard spot. And we're 3-7. And we take on Geelong in July or early August. So oh yeah, that's an ass whooping coming up, and we take on Frankston Friday night in Frankston. Frankston's in the top 6 right now. They've won 5 of their last 6 games, so they are in form. I should have taken them more seriously because I do remember saying that Collingwood had an easy fixture after their bye for the VFL. We got Frankston in the top 6 over there, and then Geelong. And we also take on Port Melbourne, final game of the home and away season VFL. That's a floating fixture as well. I don't know why, and we struggle in Port Melbourne. So yeah, it's 3 tough games, unlikely to win. Everything else is gettable. But 1 week at a time, who knows? But I still have faith in Collingwood's AFL and VFL sides this year. My third prediction was only one Collingwood player would make the All-Australian squad, and that's tracking well so far. So far, it's Nick Dacos. Whether he's starting on the field or on the bench, he's in everyone's best 23 right now. You can talk about Billy Frampton in All-Australian contention. It's not a laughing matter, that sort of conversation, but I think in regards to the All Australian best 23, I think Frampton's off. Maybe in the All Australian best 40 or 44, but in regards to the best 23, unlikely. Darcy Cameron has tapered off as a ruck, and I'm struggling to figure out who else would be in any sort of contention for All Australian from Collingwood. So, yeah, bit unfortunate right now for Collingwood in regards to the best players in the competition, All Australian selections and whatnot. Regarding Nick Dacos as well, I predicted Nick Dacos would average 30 plus disposals in 2026, but still not win the Brownlow medal. 34.9 disposals a game so far, on track for All Australian. However, he's also not tracking towards a Brownlow. So they've got the stats with them now, the umpires, the double check and everything. So maybe that goes Nick Dacos's way, but from my eyes, I don't think he's the best player in the competition right now or anymore. Still a great player, but the turnovers and entries inside 50 letting him down. His kicking is letting him down big time. He needs to improve on that. And if he does improve on that, it's going to go a long way for Collingwood climbing up the ladder this year and also Nick Dacos winning the Brownlow. I predicted Dan Houston would average 20 disposals a game, 4 rebound 50s and 3 inside 50 entries, but also not getting an All-Australian selection. And that's tracking well, except for the inside 50 entries, 22.9 disposals a game, 5 rebound 50s, and 1.8 inside 50 entries so far. Just not being utilised consistently by Craig McRae. We are failing Dan Houston right now, but he is having an improvement on this year compared to last season, but it's still not Port Adelaide or All Australian best right now. That's what we're missing from Dan Houston, to be that general across halfback. We're allowing Josh Dacos to do that still. I don't know why. And what happened to Scott Pendlebury playing across halfback? I know he's playing well, Scott Pendlebury, but Dan Houston, he needs a solid, stable role across halfback. Why he's playing in the back pocket against Melbourne, why we're not putting the ball in his hands. He's so potent and lethal by foot. We just don't trust him anymore. And because of that, Dan Houston has no confidence in his game right now. He's out of form. Hopefully, he turns it around after the bye up against his old side. So, a big chance to turn it around and go from there. I also predicted Jordan De Goey to play less than 18 games in 2026. 12 out of 18 games or 12 games so far. Missed 1 game due to concussion in gather round. Missed the Carlton game, but he's on track for 200 games, so 18 plus games this year. We just need Jordan De Goey's body to hold up well. Just 4 times Jordan De Goey's played 20 plus games in a season, so he's on track to playing 20 plus games this year, and he's in almost career best form. He tapers off after half time in games, but it's Jordan De Goey. He doesn't have the fitness for it. But tracking well to playing 18 plus games this year, 200 games, and in career best form. He's a father this year, and it's all coming up Millhouse for Jordan De Goey. But again, for our sake and Collingwood's sake, we just need Jordan De Goey's body to hold up right for the rest of the season, and who knows how our season goes from there. I predicted Jack Crisp would finally miss an AFL game, It hasn't happened yet, but I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that he will miss a game by the end of this season. I think round 20 is against Adelaide. It's a 5-day break heading over to Adelaide. Perfect chance to rest him. Otherwise, if we're out of wildcard contention, calculation wise, with a couple of games left, I think just manage him for one of those games and play the kids. So I still think Jack Crisp will miss a game at some point, not through injury, through management, but that's more of a specific bold prediction. I won't go too far. My eighth prediction was Scott Pendlebury would break the VFL AFL games record. Pretty easy, that one. And he would end the season on 444 AFL games. Currently on 435 games. The record's broken. 10 home and away games left. Possible extras, including wildcard round and a few finals if we get that far. And I do think Scott Pendlebury will be managed at some point in the season. 3 interstate games left, and you'd think he'd be managed for one, maybe two of them. I think he will play an interstate game later in the season, most likely against West Coast to keep our season alive. I also predicted Scott Pendlebury, Jeremy Howe, and Steele Sidebottom would retire at season's end. All of them, all three, not just 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3. So far, I think Pendlebury is 50-50, but he's leaning, or I'm leaning towards Pendlebury staying on for one more year. The stats show that he's capable of playing one more year. It's just a matter of how his body holds up. And also a matter for Jeremy Howe, if his body holds up this year. I don't think his body holds up for another 18 months. I think his body can hold up for this year and play a very good season, but I don't think his body holds up. I don't trust his body to hold up for 2027. And Steele Sidebottom was pretty much dropped for King's birthday. Uh, not having a good year, Steele Sidebottom, and I think he's 1 foot out the door in terms of retirement. Our second leading games record holder for Collingwood so far, behind Scott Pendlebury for obvious reasons, but still Sidebottom, a champion of the club. Got to know when the time's up, and I think we are approaching that for Steele Sidebottom. Father Time is undefeated, unfortunately. Steele Sidebottom's fighting that out. Pendlebury will find that out very soon. Jeremy Howe will find that out as well. My 10th prediction was 9 Collingwood players would reach milestone games in 2026. Pendlebury broke a record. It's still a milestone, but I'd consider that a record. Debuts are just debuts. I know it's a milestone, but I'll consider that debuts. I'm talking about 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450 for Pendlebury's sake. Still in calculations there. But so far, 5 Collingwood players have reached milestone games. Dan McStay, 200 games. Dan Houston, 200. Lipinski, 150. McCreary, 100. And Nick Dacos, 100. 2 wins from those milestone games. Dan Houston, 200 games, winning against West Coast, but that was SP 433 and also Harley Reid's 50th. Nick Dacos, 100 games against Carlton. Massive win, that one. And 3 losses in other milestone games. McStay, 200 against Adelaide. Lipinski, 150 against Geelong. And McCreary, 100 against Brisbane. So our 3 biggest losses have been in milestone games this year. So read into that what you will. 5 milestone games so far. I predict 9, so 4 to go. Still to come. I'll go in order from the least amount of games to the most amount of games. Ned Long, 2 games away from 50. Most likely will break it. I think he'll come back in at some point. Frampton, 13 games away from 100. Would need to play every single game this year, plus finals to get there. Darcy Cameron, 18 games away from 150. Would have to play every single game, plus 5 games after the home and away season. 99.9% chance of not happening, unfortunately. Schultz, 11 games away from 150, would have to play every single game, plus a wildcard game, or if he's managed for one, then to make it up for it later on. Unlikely, or very unlikely, I guess 25% chance, percentage-wise. I don't know why I'm making that up, but unlikely is what I'm trying to say. Isaac Quaynor, 4 games away from 150, most likely going to make 150. DeGoey, 6 games away from 200, likely to get there. Hopefully his body holds up for it. Darcy Moore, 1 game away from 200. My fault for him having that hamstring injury because I had a video ready for a 200 game tribute video. And yeah, he does a hamstring and he's stranded on 199. Braden Maynard, 8 games away from 250. We'll find out about the shoulder come Tuesday. And we'll know if he's going to break 250 this year or next year. Jack Crisp, 13 games away from 300. Very unlikely. I think he gets managed, so when that comes into play, he'll break it next year. And Pendlebury, 15 games away from 450. We don't know if Pendlebury will even make 450 come the end of his career, so let's watch this space. But I do think Ned Long, Quaynor, Darcy Moore, and most likely Jordan DeGoey will break or have their milestone games. Maybe Maynard, maybe Schultz. and an extra bonus for Frampton and Crisp for that matter. So tracking towards 9. If it goes over 9, that's an incorrect prediction. But if I'm wrong for the right reasons because it goes over 9. That is basic mathematics right there. I predicted 6 Collingwood players would make their AFL debut. Now, on a technicality, I think I said it would be Jack Buller plus 5 others. Uh, if I'm willing to change this, I'll change it. But Jack Buller made his club debut, and so far we've had 3 Collingwood players make their AFL debut this year. Oscar Steen against the Giants, Angus Anderson in Gather Round, and Mitch Badatsky for King's birthday. So 3 more players to make their AFL debuts. We've got 10 players yet to make their AFL debut. Harry DeMartia, Aliro Smith, Joel Cochran, Noah Howes, Ty Prindable, Sam Swadling, Zach McCarthy, Jas Saxena, Harrison Coe, and Liam Puncher. Sam Swadling's on the verge of making his debut. I think Harrison Coe to play backup ruck, Darcy Cameron, and one of Cochrane, Howes, or Puncher to come in for key defending depth at some point. Maybe we see 2 of those 3, or maybe all 3 at some point. So I feel confident we'll see a few more AFL debuts, maybe a few more than 3, and I'll be wrong for this one yet again. But again, for the right reasons, for playing the kids. And the last Collingwood prediction that's still in play for the end of the season is Collingwood to win 3 interstate games. We're 0 for 3 right now on the road, smacked against Brisbane, and 6-point losses to Freo and Sydney, the top 2 sides. Oh man, and leading for the majority of those games. Unbelievable. We play Gold Coast up there for term 2 holidays, Adelaide on a 5-day break Thursday night, and West Coast for a Sunday twilight or a Sunday afternoon over there for round 22. So maybe not all 3 to win those games. Plus, I'm also factoring in wildcard round and finals if we get that far. So bit of a leeway there. So maybe 1 or 2 more wins plus an extra win on the road for wildcard round or September. It'd be such a Collingwood thing to do that. So yeah, still in play, 0 for 3. Haven't gone for this one, but not out of the realms of possibility yet. And the last 3 predictions we'll find out once our season is officially over. Collingwood to sign a free agent, big fish. I had 4 in mind, but we weren't going to get all 4. But like Sam Walsh, Zach Bailey, Zach Butters, and Ben King. Sam Walsh staying at Carlton, Zach Bailey exploring his options. Zach Butters, I think, is the Bulldogs to lose right now, but we are still in the mix for Butters. And Ben King, we were in the mix. He told us, or told everyone he was going to stay. Now he's changing his mind. Hawthorn's now swooped in, and now the front runner's there. So regarding free agency, one of those big 4, we may not get any of those 4, but guys like Lachie Neale all of a sudden in the mix, that's a big fish in my opinion. So that will count if we get Lachie Neale, but I'll talk about Lachie Neale later in the season. Same with Butters and Ben King and whatnot. 3 Collingwood players to be traded to other clubs. Now the key word is traded, not delisted then picked up. 3 traded Collingwood players. Specific details there to be traded, not delisted or cut and then picked up in the rookie draft or SSP or whatnot. And the final prediction we'll find out end of November, though, is Collingwood to use a top 10 pick in the 2026 national draft. We've got a top 10 pick right now if the ladder or the season ended right now, but that could be in play to bring in someone like a Butters if he decides to leave Port Adelaide and Port Adelaide match the bid and we are having to pay overs for it. But it's something I'm willing to do to get Zach Butters and improve our midfield. But that final prediction or the final 3 predictions we'll find out by the end of November. And then I'll do a recap of my predictions either once our season is officially over or end of November. But that's a watch this space. That's for a few months away. So relax, all right? So I won't go in depth on every single game so far, just a brief overview of where we're sitting right now, how we got to this point, and what we need to do to improve on this, or what we could have done to have done better so far. So I'll go round by round. I've got the 5 wins, the 7 losses, and a draw on screen, and I'm putting myself in the winners column so far because we need winners so far. We need more wins, all right? That winning section needs a lot more scalps. So we started the season opening round against St Kilda, 12-point win, MCG, Sunday night. A professional win is what I called it at the time, and I still call it a professional win. Nick Dacos, unbelievable. Jordan De Goey, Dan Houston played so well to start the season. And I said, if Jordan De Goey and Dan Houston played like that for the rest of the season, it's going to go a long way. Obviously, we've seen some form drop-offs and improvements here and there. But everything that worked so well against St Kilda was the opposite against Adelaide. A 14-point loss, Darcy Cameron exposed in the ruck against Lachlan McAndrew. The new ruck rules hurting Darcy Cameron so far in 2026. And the third quarter is what cost us, really. 6 goals in that third quarter. And also, before half time, Braden Maynard turning it over, Adelaide getting that quick response. And the theme as well for our season is we'll work our asses off for 5 to 10 minutes. We'll get that goal. We got in front in the second quarter, 32-29 at the time, and then we conceded the goal straight away afterwards. So all that hard work for nothing. And we've done this against Geelong, Sydney, Melbourne as well. All these losses, we work our asses off for a goal and then we concede straight away, or we're about to concede straight away. We are so vulnerable after kicking a goal. But we made adjustments. We brought in Oscar Steen for his debut and we won by 33 points against the Giants after the bye. Oscar Steen debuting, but Darcy Moore going down with a hamstring injury. First game back, does a hamstring. Jeremy Howe, first game back, hasn't missed a beat, Jeremy Howe, but Darcy Moore and the hamstring woes this year. And just how he played that game as well. Got the hamstring strain, then came back on and played out the game. I mean, well done, you were valiant, but 4 weeks out. And then we got smacked against Brisbane. No Darcy Moore, no Scott Pendlebury, who had an Achilles tendonitis injury against the Giants, and Nick Dacos out, laid out with that calf injury. And we got smacked in the middle, 54-point loss. It led me to making a 30-plus minute video talking about our CBAs, and some of the players in there were just, yeah. It was a one-way ticket to an ass whooping, and we got what we deserved. Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking. But then the close losses started coming in for Collingwood in 2026. A 6-point loss to Freo in gather round. Every Collingwood player in that final quarter having a turnover or something that was inefficient, not owning the moments. And I said it in the gather round review. We worked harder, but Freo worked smarter. And Freo haven't looked back. They are on a 12-game unbeaten run right now. And we were the closest, I reckon. I think we were the closest to beating Freo. Adelaide were within a kick as well. They came back from a 5-goal deficit to get to that point. We had the lead for the majority of this game. Hawthorn as well, and then Wolfie time came in for them. Wolfie time came in for us, but 2 close losses against Freo in games that we should have beaten them twice. Oh man, what could have been? And now Freo's on top. But 5-point win over Carlton in Nick Dacos' 100th game, 18 points down, three-quarter time. I was resigned to the fact they were going to knock us out. Our season would be over at this point. But Taylor Byrne missing that set shot after the siren. Josh Dacos was a lucky boy, and Nick Dacos was just legendary. Oscar Steen in that final quarter was unbelievable. Everybody in that final quarter was unbelievable. Patrick Lipinski going back with the flight, run down tackles. Everyone stood up for all the right reasons. Just magical stuff, and that's what we needed. But unfortunately, it's our only close win this year, and Taylor Byrne was the reason why we have one close win this year. Otherwise, it's 2 draws and 4 losses from close games this year, and that would have broken me. I would go from close games to a 77-point demolition job against Essendon for Anzac Day, our biggest win on Anzac Day. Scott Pendlebury in 2026, 87 years old, career best game. Yeah, that was just training after half time, and it could have been a lot more. We actually could have won by 100 points. That's how serious or how bad it got for Essendon. Scott Pendlebury, a record-breaking 4th Anzac Day medal. But then we had a 5-day break, taking on Hawthorn, a draw because Darcy Moore dropped a soda with 30 seconds left, an almost Collingwood Classic win. Perryman with a hamstring injury. We just couldn't miss. 15 goals, 3. Our efficiency inside 50 was unbelievable. Uh, every year, once a year, we have that game where we fail to, or we refuse to miss, and everything that goes inside 50 is converted to a score or a goal. And that's what happened. My goodness. We got destroyed in the centre clearances. And that drop mark, I think, was either the turning point or the butterfly effect for us. Had we won this game, I think some of these close losses against Sydney, the Dogs, and Melbourne, I reckon 1 or 2 of those could have been wins. Because of that drop fucking mark, man, that still sticks out. It's not Pendlebury being managed, it's that drop mark, in my opinion. That's what's the turning point for us. And then we put up the white flag against Geelong in that second half, 54-point loss. Just a terrible second half. Our execution was poor after half time. Darcy Moore concussion, and that was a turning point. Geelong were the far better side, but all that hard work for nothing. Another example as well. Pendlebury kicks that goal, 5 to 10 minutes of hard work, defending well, couldn't convert, we kick that goal, and then Geelong get a goal straight from centre clearance. Stuff like that just pisses me off to no end, unfortunately. But at that point, it goes to show we just couldn't beat the teams above us. We took on Sydney, who were on top at the time. A 6-point loss from 33 points up halfway through the second quarter. Once again, failing to convert, inaccurate in front of goals, and Sydney, the best teams, find a way to win. That was us 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. And the Sydney Surge after halftime is what got us. We could have lost by a lot more after three-quarter time. So to lose by 6 points, flattering, but you don't convert, you get what you deserve. And we lost this game for a very important reason. We were able to get back on the winners list with a 10-point win over West Coast. SP433, a legendary day, just treating a legend with respect. The AFL world didn't like it, but fuck them. But this win came at a cost. Darcy Moore with a hamstring injury yet again. Will Hayes with a shoulder dislocation, and Jamie Elliott with the ACL injury. Oh, Sydney as well. Oscar Steen, ACL injury. Reef McInnes, ACL injury as well. So we can't have nice things so far in 2026. And yeah, all these wins come at a cost, unfortunately. And the last two games, a 4-point loss to the Bulldogs. The final quarter showed that we can take it to the best sides. We broke even in the middle, surprisingly, in the final quarter, but we're just chasing tail. We were second rate against the Bulldogs for most of the game, and it felt like a bigger loss on paper. So to lose by 4 points, it was just blue balls. And our 8-point loss, King's birthday against Melbourne. My review of the game wasn't thorough, but this loss against Melbourne was symbolic of our season. These close losses, failing to convert, can't hold a lead, failing to own the moments. The D's, the opposition just want it more compared to us. We can win the contested possessions and head inside 50 and win the ball and whatnot, but we're just so unsure of ourselves heading inside 50. We're unsure of ourselves in final quarters, failing to own the moment, almost scared and timid to own the moment. We are reactive instead of being proactive. We're not as quick compared to other sides, and we're finding this out the hard way. We are chopping and changing our game plan in our lineup and whatnot, just not owning the moment and everything like that. This close loss against Melbourne was symbolic. And you can describe our season, or you can talk about the game without talking about the game. And we got what we deserved in the end. If we don't know our best 23, we don't know our game plan, we don't know what we're doing, we don't deserve the win. And that's where we are right now. 5 wins, 7 losses, and a draw. Outside the top 10, a lot to work on, a lot to improve on, and a lot more climbing to be done to salvage our season in 2026. But just an overview of our team stats in 2026. No comparisons for the points for or points against because we are in the middle of the bye round, so other teams have played more games or less games than us. But we are top 4 for disposals. We are second in the competition for tackles inside 50, fourth for tackles, third for marks, second for rebound 50s, and that's not just Dan Houston, that's Josh Dacos as well. But it's the midfield that's costing us. Yes, we're winning the footy, but it's around the ground. We are 16th for contested possessions, 17th for hitouts, 18th. We are dead last in the competition for clearances. Dead last for centre clearances, 15th for stoppage clearances, and also 15th for efficiency inside 50 and 15th for goal efficiency. Somehow 10th for shot accuracy, but that's because of other teams failing to convert as well. It's the midfield, man. If we can improve in the midfield, whether it's Lockie Neal, Zach Butters, I'd rather improve on this now, salvage something, because I think it's the delivery heading inside 50 costing us in the end. And we can't be efficient on the scoreboard if the delivery is shocking. And yeah, it's just, it paints a picture right there. In all these areas of improvement right there, it's there. It's in front of us. We are so much better. We've got the best midfielder in the competition, Nick Dacos. Our back line is saving our ass here and just our efficiency inside 50. We don't have a B grade key forward. I'm going to say that's a bold call right there. But Dan McStay, Jack Buller, Tim Membry, Mitch Badatsky, Charlie West, none of these players are B grade players. And it's not a matter of finding an A grade key forward or anything like that. It's just our delivery inside 50. But also the leading patterns as well. Everyone's just stopping. No one's leading for it. Everyone's just converging as one, trying to get that contested mark and whatnot. And we don't have that height down forward for that. And this is what we get, unfortunately. We're a bottom 4 side or the worst midfield side. We're pretty much a bottom 4, bottom 6 side for points for. And I can't fault our effort around the ground. It's just our failing to convert and execution. That's what's costing us. And it's the reason why our confidence is down, our heads go down, and this is why we lose close games. We force close games, we don't pick away, and again, we get what we deserve in the end.